Power pulses in the shadows, a hunger that cannot be silenced, a fire that burns not because it seeks warmth, but because it hungers for reckoning. For the moment the world realizes some paths are forged for the bold and some for the doomed. The air is thick with anticipation, heavy with whispers of destiny, yet most cannot hear them, most cannot see beyond the veil of comfort that chains their steps. And in that blindness, they stumble, they falter, they walk straight into traps they cannot escape, traps that consume everything they thought was safe, everything they held dear, everything they trusted to be unshakable. If you are watching this now, I need you to pause, take a deep breath, and understand the weight of what you are about to hear. Let it sink in, let it crawl under your skin. Because this is not just another story, this is a mirror, a reflection of the choices we make and the consequences that follow. And if you feel the pull of these words, if you feel the spark in your chest igniting, do not walk away. Like this video, subscribe to stay on this path. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let the world know that you are awake. Because only those who dare to stare into the abyss, only those who refuse to look away, can survive what comes next. There is a moment when hesitation feels safe, when the illusion of control masks the reality of danger. They felt it too. They thought they were untouchable, that the path laid before them was secure, paved with certainty and promise. But certainty is a lie, and promise is a shadow. The trap waited quietly, patiently, like a storm gathering in the distance, invisible until it strikes, ruthless until nothing remains. They walked in with confidence, arrogance, even hope, and it was the very thing that led to their destruction. Because the world is not kind, it does not reward innocence, it does not forgive naivety. The world tests, it pressures, it breaks, and only those who embrace the fire within, only those who sharpen their minds and instincts, only they escape with more than just survival. They escape with power. Power is not given. Power is earned in the cracks, in the darkness where others fear to tread. Every trap, every hidden danger, every moment that seems too easy is a test of awareness, a test of patience, a test of courage. Too many stumble because they are distracted by comfort, blinded by familiarity. They fail to see the threads, the subtle cues, the signals screaming in silence. They walk straight into traps with smiles, thinking the world owes them mercy. The truth is, the world owes nothing. The world waits. And when it waits, it strikes. Do not be like them. Do not allow complacency to be the chains that bind you. Wake up before the trap closes, before the moment is gone. There is a thrill in survival, a rush in understanding the game before it devours you, a triumph in turning the tables when everything seems against you. They thought they had control. They thought they could navigate safely, but they never understood one principle. The trap does not choose the weak. It exposes the blind, the unprepared, the distracted. And destruction is merciless, absolute, unavoidable for those who ignore the signs. You might think this is fear, that this is darkness for the sake of darkness. But no, this is clarity, this is vision, this is the brutal lesson that separates those who endure from those who crumble. Every misstep, every hesitation, every small act of ignorance can lead to ruin. But every step taken with awareness, every decision made with foresight, every moment where courage outweighs comfort, builds resilience, sharpens intuition, and turns potential doom into unstoppable strength. And here is the secret most never grasp. The trap is never random. It exists because opportunity exists, because temptation exists, because desire exists. Those who fall are drawn not just by chance, but by choice. They let curiosity outweigh caution. They let arrogance outweigh vigilance. They let the illusion of safety cloud their perception. They walked straight into the trap, believing themselves untouchable, and in that belief, the trap consumed them entirely, leaving nothing but regret, nothing but echoes of mistakes that could have been avoided. But you are different. You are listening. You feel the weight of this truth. You understand the danger, and in understanding danger, you gain power over it. Awareness is your first weapon. Knowledge is your armor. Caution is your shield. Do not despise these tools. Do not underestimate their value. Do not let them be overshadowed by pride. The moment you walk blindly, the trap waits, patient, inevitable. And you must be smarter, sharper, faster, and stronger than the environment around you, than the traps laid by unseen hands, than the complacency that claims the unwary. Look closely at every situation, at every choice. The most harmless moments often conceal the most lethal consequences. Walked straight into the trap, not because it was visible, but because they ignored the warnings, brushed aside the small signals, believed that luck would protect them. Luck does not protect. Preparation protects. Awareness protects. The eyes that see before others see, the mind that calculates before others react, the heart that steels itself before others falter. These are the ones who survive. Some call it fate, some call it destiny, some call it bad luck. I call it cause and effect. Every decision, every thought, every glance, every hesitation, every spark of doubt, every ounce of courage creates ripples. And when those ripples meet hidden dangers, the results are devastating. They walked straight into the trap, but it wasn't sudden. It was a chain of choices, a series of small oversights, a refusal to recognize reality until it was too late. And here is where you must understand the true lesson. The trap does not forgive. The trap does not pause. The trap does not offer second chances. It waits, always, silently, until you expose your weakness. And destruction is swift, cold, and total. But survival, mastery, and triumph are equally precise. They are reserved for those who anticipate, those who prepare, those who see the world not as it appears, but as it truly is. A place of trials, of challenges, of invisible forces that will not yield to ignorance or hesitation. Every dark corner, every quiet moment, every opportunity that seems too easy contains a test. They failed because they saw only what they wanted to see. They failed because they ignored what they needed to see. And as their destruction unfolded, as the trap tightened, they realized, too late, that perception is everything, that preparation is everything, that courage is everything. You cannot outrun inevitability. You can only face it, recognize it, and bend it to your will before it breaks you. There is a lesson here for everyone brave enough to listen. The world is not simple. It is not fair. It is not kind. It is a labyrinth of challenges, a minefield of traps, a place where only the vigilant and the relentless thrive. Those who walked straight into the trap believed they could ignore danger, that the unseen could never reach them, that life's shadows were harmless. And the darkness proved them wrong. But darkness is not your enemy if you understand it. The trap is not your enemy if you anticipate it. The world is not your enemy if you navigate it with clarity courage, and awareness. Those who fail do so because they allow illusions to blind them. Those who succeed do so because they welcome the challenge, because they study the patterns, because they sharpen every sense, because they refuse to surrender to fear or comfort. You are listening now, and that is the first sign that you will not be like them. You will not walk blindly. You will not fall. You will not be destroyed. This is not a tale of despair. This is a manifesto of awakening. Every moment you are alert, every moment you question, every moment you prepare, you step further from destruction and closer to mastery. And when the world presents another trap, another unseen danger, another test of mind, body, and spirit, you will walk past it with confidence. Not because the trap is gone, but because you are stronger, smarter, and unbreakable. They walked straight into the trap, and it destroyed them. But you will walk with eyes wide open. You will anticipate. You will calculate. You will dominate the unseen currents of danger that pull at everyone else. You will not falter. You will not hesitate. You will not be fooled by illusions. And when you emerge on the other side, you will look back at the shadows that consume the unprepared and smile, because you are not just alive. You are powerful, aware, and unstoppable. Every single trap in life is a lesson, a test, a challenge disguised as opportunity. Do not ignore it. Do not underestimate it. Do not fear it blindly. Engage it with intellect, with courage, with focus. And every time you do, you rise above those who fell. Every time you do, you become unshakable. Every time you do, the trap loses its power over you. Remember this, the world will always try to deceive, to mislead, to blind. Traps are everywhere, in moments of trust, moments of ease, moments of distraction. But awareness is everywhere too, in the heart, in the mind, in the spirit. And those who cultivate it, who nurture it, who sharpen it, will always rise above destruction. They walk straight into the trap, but you, if you choose vigilance, if you choose preparation, if you choose courage, you will never be one of them. And yet, even as they fell, even as the trap claimed them, there was something that whispered beyond the ruins of their confidence. A lesson, a truth that cannot be erased by fear or failure. You see, destruction is not always the end. It is a teacher. It is a mirror reflecting the flaws, the mistakes, the blind spots that others refuse to acknowledge. They walk straight into the trap. Yes, but their fall is a warning for those who choose to see it. Do not ignore it. Do not dismiss it. Stand there in the echo of their failure and feel the weight of their mistake pressing against your chest, not to suffocate you, but to ignite the fire that will burn brighter than any trap the world dares to set. There is power in understanding the patterns that others overlook. Traps are never random. They are deliberate. They are calculated. They are designed to expose the weak, the unprepared, the distracted. Look around you. Every choice, every path, every moment you believe to be simple can conceal danger. Those who walked in unguarded, who trusted too easily, who ignored the subtle cues, are now shadows in the annals of cautionary tales. You are listening, and that is the difference. You have the opportunity to learn not just from what you experience, but from the mistakes of those who walk before you. Think about it. Every trap begins with a moment of innocence, a moment of confidence, a moment of trust. And often, that moment feels harmless, even natural. They thought so too. They believed in the narrative they had created, the safety net they imagined beneath their feet. But safety is an illusion. Security is a fantasy. comfort is a poison when it dulls your senses and blinds you to the edges of danger. Do not let yourself be dulled. Do not let your instincts rust. Strength is forged in tension, in awareness, in the constant vigilance that refuses to let the world lull you into complacency. You may be wondering, how do I see what they missed? How do I anticipate what they could not? It begins with presence. Presence of mind, presence of perception, presence of will. Do not wander through life like sleepwalkers in a field of minds. Every sound, every shadow, every silence carries meaning. Learn to listen beyond the noise, to see beyond the surface, to feel the pulse of the world as it moves around you. They ignored these signs, and it destroyed them. You, however, can rise above. You can walk through the same corridors of danger and emerge unscathed, enlightened, and unstoppable. Every trap has its tell. Every hidden danger leaves a signature, a hint, a trace. But only those who pay attention, only those who study, only those who refuse to be distracted by trivialities catch it before it strikes. They walk straight into the trap because they wanted what seemed easiest, what seemed immediate, what seemed safe. They ignored subtle warnings, brushed aside fleeting discomforts, and the consequences were merciless. Learn from them. Train yourself to detect even the smallest irregularity, to trust even the faintest instinct. That is how the hunter survives. That is how the prepared thrive. That is how the unstoppable rise from the shadows. Now, let me be clear. This is not about fear. Fear is a reaction, a shackle, a weakness when it controls your choices. This is about respect, awareness, and mastery. The world is not a gentle place. It does not care for innocence or kindness. It tests, it challenges, it exposes. And every failure teaches the same lesson. Do not underestimate it. Do not underestimate yourself. Those who walked straight into the trap underestimated both. You, however, must overestimate the danger and overestimate your capacity to meet it. The trap, in its essence, is a reflection of life itself. Life does not pause. Life does not yield. Life does not wait for those who hesitate. And neither does opportunity. Every decision you make, every step you take, carries risk. Every choice has consequences. Some traps are obvious. Some are invisible. Some wait for you to celebrate before they strike. They walked straight into it, and they paid the price. But your awareness is a shield. Your focus is a weapon. Your preparation is armor. These are the tools that transform danger into growth, traps into lessons, and obstacles into stepping stones. And now, let us think about the human tendency that leads so many into ruin, arrogance, pride, the illusion of control. They thought they were untouchable. They believed in their own cleverness, in their own invincibility, in the fallacy that experience alone would protect them. And the trap was merciless, exposing every flaw, every assumption, every moment they let confidence replace caution. Do not make this mistake. Confidence is nothing without awareness. Skill is nothing without observation. Knowledge is nothing without vigilance. Consider the small, almost invisible errors that build into catastrophe. A glance overlooked, a pattern ignored, a hint dismissed, a warning unheeded. These are not minor. They are the threads that weave destruction. Those who fell did not collapse from a single event. They unraveled from a tapestry of oversight, negligence, and false trust. And that is the crucial lesson. Vigilance is not a one-time act. It is continuous, relentless, unyielding. It is a state of mind, a posture of readiness, a way of life. Do not fear the traps. Respect them. Do not despise caution. Embrace it. Do not mistake ease for safety. It is often a precursor to danger. They walk straight into the trap because they allowed themselves to be lulled into comfort. You, however, can thrive in the same environment by sharpening your instincts, tuning your perception, and fortifying your will. Every moment becomes a chance to learn, every danger an opportunity to grow, every trap a lesson in awareness. Now imagine yourself moving through life with eyes wide open, every step deliberate, every choice measured, every shadow considered. The traps that destroyed others become invisible to you, their power nullified by your insight. You walk not with fear, but with understanding. You walk not with hesitation, but with precision. You walk not into the unknown blindly, but into it fully aware, fully prepared, fully alive. That is the path of the unstoppable. That is the path of those who refuse to be broken by the world's hidden snares. And yet, there is more. Danger is not always external. Sometimes the trap is within. Complacency, doubt, indecision, overconfidence. These internal snares are often more lethal than any external force. They walk straight into traps laid by the world, but also by their own minds. Their failure reminds us that self-awareness is as critical as environmental awareness. Understand yourself, recognize your weaknesses, challenge your assumptions. Strengthen your mind with the same intensity you sharpen your perception of the world. This is how destruction is avoided. This is how power is built. This is how survival becomes mastery. Every story of ruin carries a lesson if we are willing to see it. Every failure whispers secrets that the successful listen to carefully. They walked straight into the trap, and their echoes serve as a warning. Do not dismiss the warning. Do not underestimate the consequences. Do not allow the comfort of ignorance to guide your steps. Awareness, preparation, courage, vigilance. These are your allies. These are the traits that transform potential disaster into opportunity. These are the habits that separate the fleeting from the unstoppable. And here is the final truth. Life will always test you in ways obvious and subtle, in ways you expect, and ways you never imagine. The traps will always be there, waiting for distraction, hesitation, or arrogance. But you have a choice. You can walk blindly into them like so many before you, or you can rise above. You can see the signals, interpret the patterns, sharpen your instincts, and move forward with clarity and power. They walked straight into the trap and were destroyed. But you are listening, and that alone gives you an advantage that cannot be taken away. Remember, mastery is not the absence of danger. Mastery is awareness within danger, precision within chaos, resilience within uncertainty. They failed because they ignored these truths. You will succeed because you embrace them. Every trap, every challenge, every moment of uncertainty becomes a step forward, a lesson learned, a test passed. The fire of destruction that consumed them becomes the fuel that propels you. Walk carefully, walk intentionally, walk with eyes wide open and mind sharpened like a blade. Walk with the knowledge that every trap has a pattern, every danger has a lesson, every failure has a purpose if you are willing to see it. They walked straight into the trap and it destroyed them. You will not. You will rise above, armed with awareness, fortified with courage, and fueled by the relentless refusal to be caught unprepared. And when you look back one day, you will see the shadows that consume the unprepared and smile. Not because you take pleasure in their failure, but because you understand the truth. The world does not owe you safety. The universe does not offer mercy, and life will always test you. But you are ready. You are vigilant. You are unstoppable. You are alive, aware, and unbreakable. The trap has no hold over you, for you have learned to see, to anticipate, to survive, and to thrive. And now, as the echoes of their destruction fade into the void, as their mistakes are carried by the winds of time, you stand at a crossroads. Every moment is a choice, every path a possibility, every shadow a test. The trap does not rest. It waits patiently for hesitation, for distraction, for weakness. But you are no longer naive. You are no longer blind. You are awake. You are aware. You are alive in a way that those before you were not. It is tempting to think the traps are only out there, lurking in the unknown, hidden in plain sight. But the greatest dangers often lie within: doubt, fear, arrogance, and indecision. They are traps of the mind, snares that bind you before the world even has a chance. Ladies and gentlemen, gather close. Let's talk about the arrogance of those who play with fire and then act shocked when they get burned. They took you for granted, you see. They treated your kindness as if it were infinite, as if your love and your patience had no boundaries, no limits, no end. They tested your resilience time and time again, pushing you to the edge, expecting you to fold, but you didn't. You held your ground, and now, look at them. Their delusional minds thought your love could withstand their relentless abuse. They believed your heart would remain intact while they trampled over it, and now they're surprised to see that the ground they walked upon has turned to ashes. They thought they could keep pushing you further, testing your limits until you broke. But here's the truth. They underestimated you. They underestimated your power. They thought your forgiveness was a weakness, but it was a weapon they couldn't comprehend. Because while they used your love as a crutch, they didn't realize it was you who had the strength to stand tall without them. And now, they're faced with the consequences of their actions. The reality is, they built their empire on your suffering, and now that empire is crumbling beneath the weight of their own destruction. And they thought they would get away with it, didn't they? They thought you would stay forever trapped in their cycle of abuse, their manipulation, their lies. And the worst part is, they didn't care. They didn't care about the toll it took on you. They didn't care about the pieces of you they ripped away without a second thought. They didn't care that they were suffocating your soul. And here you are, stronger than ever, because you realized your worth and you refused to let their darkness consume you. You see, it's not that you didn't love them. It's not that you didn't try. It's not that you weren't there when they needed you. It's that they took everything for granted, and they never truly understood the value of what they had until it was too late. They thought they could keep demanding from you. They thought you would keep giving and giving without ever needing anything in return. They never saw the damage they were doing. They never saw the cracks they were creating in your spirit, until one day they looked around and found that the light in you had dimmed. And now they're wondering why. They're wondering how the fire that once burned so brightly has been reduced to smoke. They're wondering where that person went. Who would have done anything for them? Who would have fought for them? Who would have loved them unconditionally? But here's the thing. Their delusion was their downfall. They couldn't see the reality of their actions. They thought they could take from you forever, without consequence. But life isn't kind to those who take without giving. It's not a fair game to play with love, as though it's something you can just take and toss aside when it no longer suits you. But that's exactly what they did. They took your love, They took your trust, and they thought you would always be there to give. They never realized that there comes a moment when enough is enough. They never understood that the human heart is not an endless well, and that there comes a time when you stop giving and you start protecting yourself. And when that time came, you stopped giving. You stopped fighting. You stopped trying because you realized that no matter how hard you fought, they wouldn't change, they wouldn't grow, they wouldn't learn, and they wouldn't appreciate the value of what they had until it was gone. They took your heart for granted, and now they'll never get it back. And the worst part is, they'll never understand why. They'll never understand that their own actions led to their downfall. They'll never see how their own arrogance, their own entitlement, their own delusions of control and power over you created the person they never expected. They never expected you to walk away. They never expected you to break free. They never expected you to have the strength to leave when they thought they had you trapped in their web of lies and manipulation. But you did. You did break free, and now they're left with the consequences of their own mistakes. But here's the most important thing. The most powerful thing you can do now is to stand tall and walk forward with your head held high, because you are no longer the person they thought you were. You are no longer the person who would let them walk all over you. You are no longer the person who would sacrifice their own happiness and well-being for the sake of someone who never truly cared about you. You are the person who knows their worth and understands that love doesn't come with strings attached. Love isn't something to be used and discarded. Love is something to be cherished. It's something to be nurtured, and it's something to be given freely, but only to those who deserve it. And they didn't deserve it. They didn't deserve you. They didn't deserve the endless patience, the unrelenting support, the unwavering loyalty. They didn't deserve the depth of your love. But they took it anyway, and now they're left with nothing but the ashes of what they destroyed. And the worst part is, they'll never get it back. They'll never get another chance to make it right. They'll never get another chance to prove that they can change, because they've burned that bridge. They've destroyed that chance with their own hands. But here's the thing. You're not the same person you were before either. You've learned, you've grown, you've become stronger and wiser. You've learned that some people are only in your life for a season, and that their purpose is to teach you something, to show you your own strength, to remind you that you are worthy of love, but that love starts with yourself. And when you finally realize that, when you finally understand your own value, you'll stop settling for the scraps that others throw your way. You'll stop letting people treat you as if you're expendable, because you are not. You are not expendable. You are not replaceable. You are not some object that can be used and discarded when someone no longer needs you. You are a person, a human being with emotions and dreams and goals and a heart that deserves to be treated with respect and love. And anyone who cannot see that does not deserve to have a place in your life. But here's the beauty of it all. Even after everything you've been through, you're still standing. You're still here. You've survived the darkness. You've survived the manipulation, the lies, the abuse, and you've come out stronger on the other side. And that's what they'll never understand. They'll never understand how you survived. They'll never understand the depth of your strength, the power of your resilience, and the force of your will. They'll never understand that their own actions brought them to this point. And you've taken back your power. You've walked away from their darkness, and you've embraced the light that is within you. You are not a victim of their cruelty. You are the victor of your own life, and that is something they will never take from you again. And now, as you stand tall and reclaim the pieces of yourself that they tried to shatter, something powerful happens. You realize that you were never as broken as they hoped you would be. They thought you'd fall apart, that the weight of their abuse would crumble you, But instead, it forged you. It made you stronger than you ever thought possible. You were tested in ways most could never even imagine, and you survived. Not only did you survive, but you thrived. You found a way to rise above the darkness they tried to pull you into, and now you're a force to be reckoned with. They thought your heart would always be a soft, forgiving place for them, a place they could run back to whenever they needed comfort, without ever earning it. They thought you would forever be their emotional punching bag, that they could mistreat you without consequence, and you'd always take them back. But here's the thing, they forgot one crucial detail. Even the strongest hearts have limits. Even the most patient souls have a breaking point, and you reach that point. You found that line in the sand, and once you stepped over it, there was no turning back. They never understood that love isn't meant to be a tool for exploitation. Love is meant to be a bond, a mutual exchange, something that nurtures and uplifts both people involved. And if they couldn't see that, if they couldn't honor that, then it was their own loss. The harsh reality is that people who manipulate and mistreat others rarely change on their own. Their behavior is rooted in a deep-seated arrogance, an unshakable belief that they are entitled to everything, including your love and your devotion. But let me make this clear, they are not entitled to you. They never were. You gave because you wanted to, not because they deserved it. You loved because it was in your nature to love deeply and fiercely. But their inability to value that love is what ultimately drove them to destroy it. They didn't have the maturity to understand that love isn't something you can take for granted or abuse without consequences. And now, as you stand free from their grip, you realize that their absence isn't a void, it's a liberation. And here's the truth they'll never admit. They don't know how to love. They've never truly known what it means to cherish another person, to be selfless, to put in the effort required for a healthy, meaningful relationship. They only know how to take. They only know how to manipulate, control, and tear down. They thought your love was something to exploit for their own benefit, but in the end, it was their downfall. And as they sit in the wreckage of their own making, they're starting to realize the truth. They've lost something invaluable, something they can never get back. They took your love for granted, and now they'll never have it again. They didn't just lose you, they lost the part of themselves that they would never have without you. They destroyed the one thing that could have helped them grow, helped them become better, helped them heal. And they did it all out of pride, out of arrogance, out of the delusion that you would always be there, always forgiving, always understanding. But you're done with that. You're done giving yourself to someone who doesn't appreciate you. You're done allowing someone to drain you of everything you have to give. The truth is, they couldn't see the treasure they had until it was too late. And now, they are left with nothing but the cold, empty reality of their own actions. They thought they were in control, that they could dictate the terms of the relationship. But in the end, it was you who held the real power. It was you who chose when enough was enough. It was you who decided that your love would no longer be a tool to be used, but a force to be respected. And now, they must live with the consequences of their ignorance, their selfishness, their refusal to see what they had before it was gone. And that is your victory. But let me ask you something. As you look back on what happened, what do you see? Do you see the mistakes you made? The times you gave more than you should have? The times you forgave when you shouldn't have? Yes, you were too kind, too patient, too willing to love, even when it wasn't returned. Yes, you gave too many chances to someone who didn't deserve them. But guess what? That's not your fault. That's a reflection of your heart, of your capacity to love, of your unwillingness to turn your back on someone, even when they've hurt you. And while it's true that sometimes you have to learn to let go, to walk away, to protect yourself from further harm, don't ever let anyone convince you that your kindness was a weakness. Your kindness was your strength. It was a gift, not just to them, but to yourself. You gave because you wanted to, and you should never regret that. But here's the lesson. Don't let that kindness turn into self-doubt. Don't let it cause you to question your worth. The mistakes you made were not a reflection of your value. They were simply part of your journey. They were part of the process that led you to this moment, the moment when you realized you don't need anyone who doesn't appreciate you. You don't need anyone who doesn't see your worth. You don't need anyone who can't meet you halfway. And now that you know that, now that you understand your own strength and resilience, nothing can hold you back. You are free, you are powerful, you are enough, just as you are. And what about them? What about the ones who mistreated you? The ones who took your love for granted, who played with your heart like it was a toy? Well, they will live with the consequences of their actions, whether they ever admit it or not. They will carry the weight of their choices with them for the rest of their lives. They may try to convince themselves that it wasn't their fault, that they were justified in their behavior, that you were somehow to blame. But deep down, they know the truth. They know they lost something precious. They know they took your love for granted, and that knowledge will haunt them. They'll have to live with the fact that they let someone who loved them unconditionally slip away, that they destroyed something beautiful through their own arrogance and selfishness. But that's not your problem anymore. And so, as you move forward, don't look back. Don't let the past define you. Don't let the scars they left on you become a part of your identity. You are not the pain you've endured. You are not the mistakes you've made. You are not the wounds they inflicted upon you. You are the person who survived it. You are the person who stood up, who fought back, who broke free. You are the person who refused to let their abuse define your future. And that is something to be proud of. As you walk away from them, remember that your journey is yours alone. It's not about them anymore. It's about you. It's about reclaiming your power, your peace, your sense of self. It's about remembering who you are and what you deserve. You deserve love. You deserve respect. You deserve happiness. And anyone who cannot give you that is not someone you need in your life. So, keep moving forward. Keep walking toward your future, toward the life you deserve, and leave behind the ones who never valued you. They will never understand the depths of your strength, the power you found in yourself when you had nothing left to give. But you know, don't you? You know that you are capable of greatness. You know that you are worthy of everything you've ever dreamed of. And now you're going to get it. You're going to find the love you deserve. You're going to find the respect, the joy, the peace that was always meant for you. And when they look back at you, when they realize what they've lost, remember this. You were never meant to be their stepping stone. You were meant to soar. And now, nothing can stop you. In the end, they will understand that your love wasn't something they could abuse without consequences. It was a gift, and now it's gone. But you're just getting started, and the world won't know what hit it when you unleash the full power of who you are. You've been through the worst of it. You've endured pain that was unimaginable, suffering that no one should ever have to experience. You gave everything you had to someone who only took, who only used you for their own selfish needs. And when you finally reached the end of your rope, when you finally decided to stop sacrificing your happiness for them, they were stunned. They thought you were too weak to leave. They thought they could continue to control you, to keep you trapped in their world of deceit, their world of abuse. But what they failed to realize was that the strength they thought you lacked had been growing inside you all along. They mistook your kindness for weakness, but what they didn't see was the quiet power that burned beneath the surface of your soul. It wasn't just kindness that kept you holding on. It was love. It was love so deep and unyielding that you kept giving even when it hurt. It was love that made you believe in the best of them, even when their actions told a different story. You believed in them, even when they couldn't believe in themselves. You fought for them, even when they refused to fight for you. You put their needs before yours, even when you were left with nothing. You sacrificed everything for them, and what did you get in return? Nothing but heartache, betrayal, and abuse. But here's the cruel truth they will never understand. Your love was never meant to be used up and thrown away. Your love was a gift that they took for granted, a gift that they didn't recognize the value of until it was gone. And now that you're gone, they're left with nothing but regret and the harsh reality that their own actions have stripped them of the one thing they never truly deserved. They thought they had you, that they could keep you in their life forever. But the truth is, they were never deserving of the love you gave them. They never had the capacity to appreciate it. As they sit in the wreckage of their own making, trying to convince themselves that they're the victims, they'll never be able to truly understand the depths of their mistakes. They'll never be able to see the full scope of the damage they'll inflicted upon you. They'll never know how much you sacrificed, how much you gave, and how much it cost you to try and make things work with someone who wasn't capable of seeing your worth. The truth is, they were never capable of truly loving you because they didn't even know how to love themselves. And now, they'll be haunted by that truth for the rest of their lives. And as for you, as you stand here today, free from the chains they tried to wrap around your heart and soul, you're no longer the person you once were. You are not the same person who allowed them to walk all over you, to mistreat you, to use you and abuse you without consequence. You are not the same person who stayed silent while they tore you down, while they ignored your needs and took everything from you. You are not the same person who believed their lies, who gave them second chances, who kept hoping things would change. That person is gone. That person has been replaced by someone stronger, someone wiser, someone who knows their worth. You have learned the hard way that love is not something to be taken lightly. Love is not something to be used as a weapon. Love is not something that can be exploited without consequence. You have learned that love should be mutual, that it should be nurturing, that it should uplift both people involved. And when it's not, when it's one-sided, when it's toxic, when it becomes a tool for manipulation and control, then it's time to walk away. You have learned that walking away from someone who doesn't value you is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. It's a sign that you value yourself enough to say no more. And now, as you walk forward, you carry with you the scars of the past, but you also carry with you the wisdom that those scars have given you. You carry with you the knowledge that you will never again allow someone to take you for granted. You will never again allow someone to tear you down, to make you feel small, to make you feel worthless. You know now that you are worthy of respect. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of all the happiness and joy that this world has to offer, and you will no longer settle for less than that. They tried to break you. They tried to take everything from you. They tried to strip you of your dignity, your self-worth, your spirit. But they failed, because in the end, it wasn't them who had the power. It was you. You held the power all along, even when you didn't realize it. They couldn't break you, because they didn't have the strength to do so. They didn't have the strength to break someone as resilient, as fierce, as powerful as you. And now that you know that, now that you understand the depth of your own strength, nothing can stop you. You are unstoppable. They may try to come back. They may try to beg for forgiveness. They may try to manipulate you once again with their empty promises, their false words. But you know better now. You know that they will never change. You know that they will never treat you the way you deserve to be treated, and you will not fall for it. You will not fall for their lies, their games, their manipulation. You will not give them another chance to destroy you. And even if they never understand what they lost, even if they never acknowledge the pain they caused you, it doesn't matter. You know your worth. You know that you are deserving of so much more than they could ever offer. And now, you are free. Free to live the life you were meant to live. Free to love the way you deserve to be loved. Free to find happiness and peace and joy without the shadow of their abuse hanging over you. The truth is, this journey has changed you. It has shaped you into someone stronger, someone more aware of who you are and what you want from life. You have learned how to trust yourself again, how to rely on your own strength and resilience. You have learned that you are enough, just as you are. You have learned that you do not need anyone's approval, anyone's validation, anyone's love in order to be complete. You are whole on your own. You are complete on your own. And anyone who wants to be in your life must see that, must respect that, must value that. As you continue on your journey, remember this: the person you were before, the person who gave everything to someone who didn't deserve it, that person was not weak. That person was not foolish. That person was simply someone who believed in the goodness of others, someone who loved deeply, someone who cared. And that is something to be proud of. You loved with all your heart. And while they may have taken that love for granted, you now know that your love is a gift that you will no longer give to anyone who doesn't deserve it. So, let go of the past. Let go of the pain, the guilt, the shame. Let go of the people who hurt you, the people who abused you, the people who didn't care enough to see your worth. Let go of them because they are not worth your time, your energy, your love. And walk forward into the future with confidence, with strength, with the knowledge that you are enough, that you are worthy of everything you've ever dreamed of, and that you will never again settle for less than you deserve. The road ahead may not always be easy, but it will be yours. It will be your journey, and you will walk it with your head held high, knowing that you are stronger than anything that comes your way. You have survived the worst, and now you're going to thrive. You're going to rise up, stronger than ever, and nothing will stand in your way. Not the pain of the past, not the people who tried to tear you down, not the darkness that once surrounded you. You are light. You are power. You are everything you need to be. And when they look at you, those who once mistreated you, those who once took everything from you, they will see something they never saw before. They will see your strength, they will see your power, and they will realize that the love they lost was never meant for them. It was meant for someone who would cherish it, someone who would protect it, someone who would respect it, and that someone is you. And as for them, they will have to live with the consequences of their actions. They will have to carry the weight of their mistakes, the weight of their regrets. They will have to live with the knowledge that they lost someone who could have loved them unconditionally, who could have been their partner, their equal. And in the end, they will realize that the love you gave them was the greatest thing they ever had, and they threw it away. But that's not your burden to carry anymore. You have moved on. You have found your strength, and now you are free. So, step forward into your future. The world is waiting for you. It's waiting for the person you have become, the person who is no longer afraid to stand up for themselves, the person who knows their worth. And nothing, absolutely nothing, will ever make you doubt that again. You are enough. You always were. They whisper your name when the room gets quiet. They feel the absence before they understand the reason. You walked away without noise. You changed without announcement. You grew without permission. And now the silence around you is heavy, because royalty does not chase applause. Royalty moves forward while the world catches its breath. You are no longer who they remember. You are who they could never reach. They are crying for your return because your presence once filled their empty spaces. They felt stronger standing next to you. They felt important borrowing your light. Now that light is gone from their reach, and suddenly they feel the cold. If this message is touching your heart, then stay with it until the end, like this moment if it speaks your truth. Subscribe if you are ready to rise beyond the past. Comment with one word that defines who you are becoming. This is not just a video. This is a mirror. This is a promise you make to yourself. There was a time when you were available, a time when you explained yourself, a time when you waited to be chosen. You gave energy where it was not protected. You trusted where it was not honored. You loved where it was not valued. That version of you did not know your worth. Not because you were weak, but because you were learning. Growth often begins in confusion. Strength often begins in disappointment. They remember the old you, the one who answered fast, the one who showed up without conditions, the one who stayed even when it hurt. They remember that version because it was convenient. It made them comfortable. It allowed them to take without giving. But you are not that person anymore. You did not disappear. You evolved. Royalty is not loud. Royalty is not begging to be seen. Royalty is calm because it knows who it is. When you stopped explaining yourself, something shifted. When you stopped proving your value, something awakened. When you stopped chasing approval, your spine straightened and your eyes lifted. You did not become cold. You became clear. They say you changed. That word is loaded with fear. People fear change when it removes their access. They fear growth when it exposes their stagnation. They fear boundaries when they were used to crossing them freely. Your change was not betrayal. It was survival. It was self-respect. It was the moment you chose yourself. You were once the diamond they held loosely. They did not protect it. They did not polish it. They did not understand its rarity. They treated it like glass. Now it is gone from their hands, and suddenly they see the shine. They lost a diamond, and loss has a way of teaching lessons that presence never could. You did not rise overnight. Every step was heavy. Every decision was lonely. Every silent night carved wisdom into your bones. You questioned yourself. You doubted your path. You wondered if walking away was a mistake. But deep inside, a quiet voice kept saying, "Keep going." That voice was your future calling you forward. Royalty is built in isolation. When the crowd leaves and the noise fades, you meet your true self. You faced your fears without an audience. You healed wounds without validation. You rebuilt your identity without applause. That is why your strength is real. That is why your confidence is unshakable. They want you back because they feel the gap you left behind, the space where your loyalty lived, the space where your effort breathed, the space where your presence made things easier. But royalty does not return to places that could not honor it. Royalty does not shrink to fit old rooms. Royalty builds new kingdoms. You learned that access to you is a privilege. Not everyone deserves your time. Not everyone deserves your energy. Not everyone deserves your heart. You stopped overgiving. You stopped over-explaining. You stopped overstaying. And in that stopping, you started winning. There was pain in letting go. Do not deny it. There was grief in releasing what you hoped it could become. There was sadness in realizing some people only love the benefits of you, not the essence. But that pain refined you. It sharpened your vision. It taught you discernment. Now, you move differently. You listen more. You speak less. You observe before you invest. You choose peace over chaos. You choose growth over comfort. You choose purpose over approval. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. They watch from a distance now. They scroll through memories. They replay conversations. They wonder where they went wrong. Some feel regret. Some feel envy. Some feel inspired. But all of them feel the truth. You are no longer reachable in the same way. Royalty does not announce its presence. It is felt. When you enter a room, energy shifts. When you speak, words carry weight. When you decide, doors open. This is not magic. This is the result of doing the inner work when no one was watching. You stopped needing to be understood. That was a powerful moment. Understanding from others is nice, but understanding yourself is essential. You know your intentions. You know your heart. You know your journey. That is enough. They are crying for your return because they miss what you gave. But you are royalty now, and royalty gives wisely. You learned that giving without limits leads to emptiness. You learned that love without boundaries leads to loss. You learned that loyalty without respect leads to pain. Now your loyalty begins with yourself. Your respect is non-negotiable. Your boundaries are firm. Your vision is clear. You are no longer available for confusion. You are no longer accessible to chaos. You are no longer attracted to what drains you. This path is not easy. Being royalty means being misunderstood. It means being judged by those who never dared to grow. It means being lonely at times. But it also means being free. Free from expectations. Free from manipulation. Free from the need to be liked. You walk with purpose now. Every step intentional. Every choice aligned. You do not rush because you trust timing. You do not force because you trust flow. You do not fear loss because you trust yourself. They lost a diamond because they could not see beyond the surface. They did not recognize the pressure that created you. They did not value the resilience that defined you. They did not respect the depth that made you rare, but someone else will. The world will. Most importantly, you will. Royalty is not about crowns. It is about character. It is about integrity when no one is watching. It is about strength when no one is clapping. It is about grace under pressure. You carry that now. You no longer seek revenge. You no longer crave validation. You no longer need closure. Your growth is your response. Your peace is your victory. Your success is your message. They may cry. They may regret. They may wish. But time only moves forward, and so do you. Remember who you were. Honor who you are. Protect who you are becoming. You are not returning. You are reigning. You did not harden your heart. You refined it. There is a difference that only the awakened understand. A hard heart closes itself to feeling. A refined heart chooses carefully where it belongs. You still feel deeply. You still care deeply. You just no longer bleed for places that never planned to heal you. That is wisdom. That is maturity. That is royalty energy rising quietly. There was a moment when you realized you were always the one holding things together, the one forgiving first, the one adjusting, the one understanding. When you stepped back, everything started falling apart for them. That is when the truth became loud. You were never replaceable. You were never ordinary. You were the foundation they stood on without gratitude. Now they feel the ground shaking. You stopped reacting. That confused them. You stopped explaining. That scared them. You stopped chasing. That broke the illusion of control. Silence became your strength. Distance became your power. Focus became your protection. You learned that not every battle deserves your voice. Some deserve your absence. Royalty knows when to walk away, not out of ego, out of self-respect. You did not leave in anger. You left in clarity. You left because staying would have meant betraying yourself. And you promised yourself long ago that you would never abandon your own soul again. They will say you are different. Let them. Different is what growth looks like to those who stayed the same. Different is what healing sounds like to those who are still wounded. Different is what strength feels like to those who depend on others to feel whole. You are no longer easy to access, not because you think you are better, but because you know your energy is sacred. You protect it. You invest it wisely. You share it with those who meet you in honesty and effort and respect. This is not pride. This is preservation. Royalty understands timing. You do not rush outcomes anymore. You trust the process. You trust the unseen work happening behind the scenes. You trust that what is meant for you will never require you to shrink or beg or betray your values. That trust is powerful. They lost a diamond because they thought it would always be there, because they believed your patience had no limit, because they assumed your kindness meant weakness. They learned too late that diamonds do not break. They disappear from careless hands and shine elsewhere. You are building something now that cannot be taken from you. Confidence that comes from within. Peace that does not depend on approval. Vision that does not bend under pressure. You are becoming unshakable. Not loud, not arrogant, just solid. There will be days when memories try to pull you back, when nostalgia paints the past softer than it was, when loneliness whispers doubts. In those moments, remember why you left. Remember the nights you felt unseen. Remember the weight you carried alone. Remember the strength it took to choose yourself. Royalty does not live in regret. It learns. It grows. It moves forward with grace. You forgive without returning. You wish well without reopening doors. You release without resentment. That is true power. They may try to reach out, to test your boundaries, to see if the old access still exists. But you are not the same door anymore. You are a gate, and gates do not open for everyone, only for those aligned with your future. Your presence is different now, calmer, stronger, grounded. People feel it before you speak. They sense the depth. They sense the discipline. They sense the self-respect. This is what happens when someone chooses growth over comfort. You are not perfect. You are real. You are not fearless. You are brave. You are not above pain. You have mastered it. Pain no longer controls you. It teaches you. It sharpens you. It prepares you. Royalty is a mindset, a standard, a way of moving through the world with intention. You embody that now, in how you speak, in how you choose, in how you walk away from what no longer aligns. They are crying for your return because your absence revealed their loss. But you are royalty now, and royalty does not go backward. It builds forward. It expands. It evolves. Let them remember you. Let them miss you. Let them learn. Your journey is no longer tied to their understanding. You have a kingdom to build within yourself, and this time, nothing will take it from you. You carry a calm now that cannot be faked. It comes from battles you never spoke about and decisions you made in silence. It comes from choosing discipline over distraction and purpose over pleasure. People mistake that calm for distance. They do not realize it is strength settling into its rightful place. There was a version of you that hoped people would see your effort, that hoped loyalty would be returned, that hoped love would be protected. That version learned the hardest lesson of all. Not everyone who benefits from your presence values your existence, and once you learned that, you never unlearned it. Royalty learns to sit with discomfort, to grow without reassurance, to move without constant feedback. You stopped asking if you were enough. You started asking if it was aligned. That question changed everything. They remember how you used to show up even when tired, how you stayed even when drained, how you gave even when empty. They remember because no one has filled that space since. But royalty does not come back to prove its worth. Royalty knows its value even in absence. You stopped needing apologies. You stopped needing explanations. You stopped needing closure. Your clarity became your closure. Your peace became your answer. Your progress became your reply. There is power in being underestimated. They never saw this version coming. They thought you would stay the same. They thought your patience meant permanence. They did not understand that patience has a limit and growth has a direction. You are no longer accessible to chaos disguised as connection. You are no longer impressed by words without consistency. You are no longer attached to potential without action. You choose what is real. You choose what is steady. You choose what is mutual. Royalty understands that not everyone can come with you. Some people are only meant for a season. Some lessons only arrive through loss. Some growth only happens when familiar doors close. You accepted that without bitterness. They may speak of you with regret, with confusion, with longing, but you do not move based on their emotions anymore. You move based on your vision. You move based on your values. You move based on who you are becoming. You learn that peace is louder than validation, that consistency is more attractive than intensity, that self-respect is more powerful than approval. These lessons rewired your entire life. There is a quiet confidence in knowing you can walk alone if needed, in knowing you can rebuild from nothing, in knowing you can choose yourself without guilt. That confidence is unbreakable. Royalty does not need revenge. Time and truth handle that. You focus on building, on refining, on elevating. You let results speak where words once tried. They lost a diamond because they never took the time to see its depth. They never understood that rarity requires care. They never realized that something so valuable does not wait forever. Now it shines beyond their reach. You are no longer available to be misunderstood. You are aligned. You are grounded. You are intentional. You know what you deserve, and you do not negotiate with doubt anymore. Every day you rise with a different energy, not rushed, not desperate, just focused, just present, just committed to becoming better than yesterday. That discipline compounds. That mindset builds legacies. Royalty is built one choice at a time, one boundary at a time, one act of self-respect at a time. You are living proof of that. They can cry for your return. They can replay the past. They can wish things were different. But you are not meant to go back. You are meant to go beyond old versions, beyond old limits, beyond old expectations. You did not lose anything by leaving. You gained yourself. And that is the greatest rise of all. You move with intention now, and that intention scares people who live on impulse. You no longer explain your silence. You no longer justify your distance. You no longer apologize for choosing peace. The world taught you enough lessons to understand that clarity is kindness to yourself, even when others do not understand it. There was a season where you felt invisible, where your effort went unnoticed, where your loyalty was assumed instead of appreciated. That season trained you. It strengthened your emotional muscles. It taught you how to stand alone without collapsing. You survived it quietly, and that is why your presence now feels solid and grounded. Royalty does not rush connections. You take your time. You observe energy. You listen to patterns, not promises. You trust actions over words. This is not because you are guarded out of fear, but because you are wise through experience. You learned the cost of ignoring red flags, and you chose never to pay that price again. They missed the version of you that was always available, the one who put others first without question, the one who stayed even when disrespected. But that version retired with honor. It completed its purpose. It taught you what you needed to learn. And now, a stronger version has taken its place. You understand now that being needed is not the same as being valued. That realization was painful but freeing. You stopped mistaking attention for respect. You stopped confusing familiarity with loyalty. You stopped settling for half-effort connections. That shift elevated everything in your life. Royalty chooses depth over numbers, peace over noise, purpose over popularity. You are no longer interested in being everywhere. You are interested in being aligned. You are interested in building something meaningful, something lasting, something true. There is a discipline in your daily choices now, in how you speak to yourself, in how you manage your time, in how you protect your focus. You do not waste energy proving who you are. You invested in becoming who you are meant to be. They lost a diamond because they were distracted by surface-level things. They did not see the patience. They did not see the resilience. They did not see the loyalty as something rare. They thought it was endless. They thought it required no care. Now they know better, but knowledge arrives too late sometimes. You are no longer afraid of being misunderstood. You are no longer chasing closure from people who could not meet you in truth. You are no longer attached to outcomes you cannot control. You do your part and let life handle the rest. Royalty understands that some doors close to protect you. Some endings are divine redirections. Some losses are blessings in disguise. You stopped questioning every ending. You started trusting the process. Your growth has made you selective, not cold. Selective. You still have a heart. You just stopped handing it to people who do not know how to hold it. That is strength, not selfishness. They may say you became distant. What they really mean is you became unavailable for imbalance. You stopped pouring into cups that never filled yours. You stopped chasing energy that never reciprocated. You chose balance. You stand taller now. Not because you feel superior, but because you no longer carry unnecessary weight. You released guilt. You released obligation. You released the need to be everything for everyone. That release gave you room to breathe. Royalty is self-led. You do not wait for permission. You do not follow crowds. You do not move based on trends. You move based on inner alignment. That makes your path lonely at times, but powerful always. There will be moments when people from the past resurface, when old doors knock, when familiar voices call your name. In those moments, remember who you had to become to leave. Remember the strength it took to walk away. Remember the peace you gained by choosing yourself. You are not heartless for protecting your energy. You are not wrong for outgrowing spaces. You are not selfish for choosing growth. You are honoring the version of you that survived what others never saw. Royalty does not fear solitude. Solitude sharpens vision. It clarifies purpose. It strengthens identity. You learn to enjoy your own company. You learn to trust your own decisions. You learn to rely on your own strength. They are crying for your return because your absence taught them your value. But you are royalty now, and royalty does not return to prove anything. It moves forward to build what was always meant to exist. You are building a life that does not require you to abandon yourself, a life where your values are respected. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, foes, and all you lovely bystanders, let me tell you a little story, a tale of expectations turned upside down, of plots twisted in ways they never saw coming. You see, they thought they had you figured out. They thought they could keep chipping away, pushing, taunting, dragging you to the edge of a cliff they crafted just for you. They believed that when the time came, you'd beg, plead, beg for justifications, explanations, excuses, whatever they decided to throw your way to keep you tethered. They were wrong. They were all wrong. For you see, there's a certain kind of strength that lives in silence, in the moments when you've had enough, in the moments when you've been hurt so deeply that you can no longer scream. The kind of strength that doesn't beg for mercy, but walks away. And that's exactly what you did. You didn't wait for the answers they promised. You didn't stay to hear their excuses. You were already set to leave long before they realized it, long before they understood that they had already lost you. That's the part they missed, the part they overlooked. They thought you were weak. They thought you were too afraid to walk away, too loyal to give up. They thought you would always stay, always endure, always bend and break for them, always remain tethered by some invisible thread they could control. But what they didn't understand, what they failed to see, is that they weren't holding on to you. No, it was you holding on to yourself. And once you realized your worth, once you saw the chains they tried to wrap around your life, something inside of you snapped. There's nothing more dangerous than someone who has had enough. When you reach the point where your heart no longer bleeds for validation, when you no longer crave recognition, when the desire to explain yourself disappears, you become free. You become a force they cannot stop, no matter how many times they try to pull you back in, no matter how many false promises they throw your way. For you had already made your peace. You had already decided that your life would not be defined by the way they saw it, by the way they tried to limit it. They underestimated you. They thought you were just another chapter in their book of control, another character they could manipulate, another soul they could break down and bend to their will. But you were never part of their story, were you? Number. You were the author of your own narrative, and when the time came, you closed the book. You walked away. You didn't need justifications because, deep down, you knew that some things don't require explanations. Some things simply don't deserve your time, your energy, or your love. Do you know what it feels like when the world thinks you're lost, but you're actually more found than you've ever been? It's a power few can comprehend. When you can look into the eyes of those who once held the power to make or break you and feel nothing but relief, it's liberating. It's a rebirth. They thought you were clinging to them, that you were begging for crumbs of their attention, their validation. They thought you would come crawling back when the truth finally sunk in. But here's the thing. You weren't lost. You weren't begging for their crumbs. You had already stepped into your own truth, your own power. There's a strange peace that comes when you stop waiting for permission. You stop waiting for the green light from the people who thought they owned your path, the people who thought they could dictate your every move, your every choice, the people who believed their approval was the only thing that could sustain you. But that day never came, did it? The day you stopped waiting. You realized that your strength doesn't come from them. It comes from you. From knowing that you fought your battles and won every time you chose yourself. And when you choose yourself, you stop waiting for justification. You stop waiting for someone to explain your worth because you already know it. It's funny, isn't it? How those who think they have all the answers are often the ones who miss the most obvious truths. They thought you were weak, afraid, dependent. They thought you needed them. They thought you needed their approval to move on, to move forward. They thought they were the reason you stayed. They thought they were the reason you didn't walk away. But they missed something. They missed that your strength was never tied to them. Your strength was always in the freedom of knowing you were never truly theirs to begin with. Now, look at them. Look at the people who thought they had you in the palm of their hands. Watch as they scramble for answers, for justification, for a reason to hold on to someone they never truly understood. They'll wonder, as they always do, why you left without a word, without an explanation. They'll wonder why, after everything they did, you didn't beg for mercy. Why after everything, you didn't fight to stay. And here's the truth. It's because they never saw you for who you were. They never saw the quiet strength in you, the one that was always waiting for the moment to break free. They never knew what it meant to walk away with grace, with purpose, with certainty. And now they're left in their own silence, unable to answer their own questions. Because the truth is, they thought you needed them. They thought they were the key to your survival. They thought they could break you. But they never understood that the moment they tried to break you was the moment they set you free. You never begged for justification because you never needed it. The decision had already been made. You had already set yourself free. You were already gone. And now, as they watch you from a distance, they realize the truth they never saw coming. They realize that you were always the one in control. They realize that you didn't need them, that you never did. You were never desperate for their validation, never desperate for their explanations. You were only ever desperate for your own peace, your own truth. And when they couldn't give you that, you found it for yourself. You walked away because you realized that the only justification you ever needed was the one you gave yourself. They thought you would beg. They thought you would fall apart. But in the end, you stood tall. And now, as you look back, you realize that the greatest gift they ever gave you was the lesson that you didn't need them at all. You were already set to leave, long before they realized it. And that, my friends, is the most powerful kind of freedom. So let them wonder. Let them search for the justification they'll never find. You don't owe them anything. You've already given them everything they deserve. Your absence, your silence, your freedom. And that is more than enough. In the end, the truth is simple. You were always set to leave. You just needed to realize that you were the one who held the key. For so long, you let them convince you that the power resided in their hands. You let them dictate your every step, every decision, every choice, without ever questioning their authority over your life. It was a game they played with the skill of seasoned manipulators, pulling the strings while you were too blinded by loyalty, by the belief that you owed them something. You were convinced that your worth was measured by their acceptance, by their approval. They made you believe that without them, you were incomplete, lost, worthless. But in truth, they never held your key. They never had access to your true power. You did. It was always in you, hidden beneath the layers of self-doubt and fear they expertly sculpted. You see, they underestimated the depth of your spirit. They thought they could break you with their sharp words, their empty promises, their betrayal. But the truth is, they were never the ones who could define your strength. No matter how hard they tried to push you to the edge, to force you into a mold that didn't fit, you always had the power to shatter it. The key was never in their hands. It was always yours. But you had to be brave enough to realize it. They believed they could control your every move, your every thought. They thought you were bound by some invisible thread of guilt, that you'd never have the courage to sever it, that you'd always be the one holding on, afraid to let go. They thought they could keep you in a state of dependency, where you'd always feel the need to explain yourself, to justify your actions. But they never understood the depth of your inner fire, the one that burns brighter in silence, in the moments when you stop begging for answers and start demanding the truth from yourself. You gave them every chance to prove that they deserved your time, your energy, your loyalty. You gave them your patience, your love, your trust, hoping, praying that they would finally recognize the value in you. But every time they failed you, every time they hurt you, you grew a little more distant, a little stronger. You see, the key was always within you, waiting for the moment when you would unlock it and step into your own power. And the moment you realized it, everything changed. You stopped waiting for validation. You stopped hoping that they would change, that they would see your worth. You stopped begging for the things you already knew you deserved. You stopped seeking justification for your decisions, because deep down, you knew that your choices were always justified. There was nothing to explain, nothing to apologize for. The moment you took the key into your own hands, you unlocked the door to your own liberation. The moment you realized you held the key, you stopped waiting for the world to make sense. You stopped waiting for them to apologize, to make things right. Because in truth, they couldn't. No amount of words, no empty gestures could undo the damage they caused. The only thing that could set you free was the realization that you didn't need them anymore. The chains that bound you were all in your mind. And once you realized that, once you found the courage to unlock that door, the chains vanished. They were wrong. They were wrong about you from the very beginning. They thought they could break you, that you were weak, fragile, incapable of standing alone. They underestimated your resilience. They underestimated your heart. They thought they could chip away at your soul until there was nothing left. But the more they tried to tear you down, the more they pushed you towards your own awakening. They thought they were winning. They thought they were breaking you. But in reality, every hurt they inflicted, every betrayal, every word of doubt was only pushing you closer to the moment when you would finally see the truth. And when you saw it, you walked away. You took the key and you set yourself free. It's not easy, is it? To break free from the things that have held you captive for so long. To walk away from the people, the situations, the patterns that have shaped your life, even when they've caused you pain. It's not easy to realize that the key was always in your hands, that you had the power to change your life at any moment. But that's the beauty of it. You don't need anyone's permission to be who you are. You don't need anyone's approval to walk away from what no longer serves you. You are not bound by their expectations. You are not defined by their opinions. You are defined by your own strength, your own courage, your own will to live life on your own terms. And now that you've found the key, now that you've unlocked the door to your own freedom, the world looks different, doesn't it? The air is clearer, your mind is sharper, and your heart is lighter. You no longer carry the weight of their judgments or their lies. You no longer seek their approval or their validation. You've stepped into your own power, and there's nothing more dangerous than someone who knows their own worth. There's nothing more unstoppable than a person who has realized they are the master of their own destiny. When you hold the key to your own freedom, there's no force in the world that can hold you back. You become a force of nature. No matter how many times they try to pull you back in, no matter how many times they try to convince you to come back, you will never return to the person you were before. You are no longer bound by their lies, their manipulation, their control. You are free, and there is nothing more dangerous than a person who has tasted true freedom. They will never understand. They will never see the strength it took for you to walk away. They will never know what it feels like to realize that they were never the reason you stayed. They were never the reason you endured. They were never the reason you fought. You fought for yourself, for your peace, for your sanity. You fought for your own future. And when you realized the truth, that you were the one holding the key, you walked away, not in defeat, but in victory. Now, as you look back, you realize that the hardest part wasn't leaving them. It was realizing that you didn't need them. The hardest part wasn't walking away from the familiar. It was understanding that the only thing you ever needed to survive was already inside of you. The hardest part was realizing that you were never bound by their expectations, never tied to their approval. The hardest part was finally accepting that you were worthy of more than they could ever offer. And once you accepted that, everything else became easy. You no longer need their justifications. You no longer need their reasons, their excuses, their explanations. You don't owe them anything, because you've already given them everything they deserve, your absence. You've already given them the one thing they'll never understand, your silence. And that silence speaks louder than any words ever could. It is a testament to your strength, to your growth, to your unshakable belief in yourself. You were never weak. You were never dependent. You were never broken. You were always stronger than they could ever imagine. And now that you've realized it, now that you've taken the key and unlocked the door, there's no going back. You're free. And nothing, no one, can ever take that away from you. In the end, they thought they had you figured out. They thought you'd beg for justifications. But the truth is, you never needed their justifications. You already had everything you needed to set yourself free. You were always set to leave. You were always meant to walk away. And now, as you move forward into the next chapter of your life, you carry that truth with you. You hold the key, and you're free. Freedom is a powerful thing. It's not just the absence of chains or the end of a physical battle. It's the deep, resonating peace that fills the spaces within you. The kind of peace that comes when you no longer seek the approval of others, when you no longer crave validation from those who have treated you like an afterthought, when you finally see yourself for who you truly are, rather than through the lens of someone else's expectations. That is when you know you are free. They had their grip on you, didn't they? The ones who thought they could control you, manipulate you into being what they wanted, into staying longer than you should. They believed they could break you down piece by piece, that your resilience would wear thin with time. They thought if they just kept pushing, kept testing your boundaries, kept promising you things that were never truly delivered, you would stay. They thought you were weak, that you couldn't survive without their approval. But the truth is, they were afraid of your power all along. You see, there is something that terrifies the people who think they have control over you. Your ability to walk away. The moment you realize that you are not reliant on anyone or anything to define your worth, they are left with nothing but their own shadow. That's what they feared the most. The day you stop needing their justifications, stop craving their attention, stopped chasing their approval. Because when you stop depending on them, you are no longer in their power. You are free. And freedom, my friends, is more powerful than anything they could ever offer. Now that you are free, the world looks different, doesn't it? You see things with a clarity you never had before. You see the lies they told you, the manipulation, the false promises, the empty gestures they put in front of you like a shiny object meant to distract you from the truth. But no longer. No longer will you be distracted by their deceitful words. No longer will you be pulled back into their web of control. You've broken free from their influence, and that is a power that no one can ever take from you. The hardest part of this journey, though, was not walking away. It was realizing for the first time that you could walk away. It was accepting that the moment you stopped seeking their approval, stopped fighting for their acceptance, stop justifying your worth to them, you would no longer be bound by their chains. It was the moment of truth that unlocked your soul. And once that truth set in, you couldn't unsee it. You couldn't go back to the person you were before. You couldn't pretend anymore that you needed them. You never did. There's a profound kind of freedom that comes with that realization. It's the kind of freedom that makes you feel like you can breathe again, the kind that fills you with energy and passion to take on whatever comes next. When you stop fighting for other people's recognition, when you stop clinging to things and people that were never meant to stay, your entire energy shifts. You are no longer weighed down by the constant pressure to meet expectations or to apologize for your existence. But let me make this clear. This is not about escaping from people. This is about reclaiming yourself. This is about discovering that your value was never dependent on how others treated you, but on how you treated yourself. You see, they wanted you to believe that you were incomplete, that you couldn't stand on your own, that you needed them in some way to survive. But the truth is, you were always complete. They just needed you to believe the lie. When you walk away from people who have treated you poorly, from toxic relationships or manipulative environments, you aren't just leaving them behind. You are leaving the version of yourself that once thought they were in charge of your destiny. You are leaving the part of you that felt you weren't strong enough to make it without them. You are leaving behind the idea that your worth is attached to anyone other than yourself. And in doing so, you begin to discover the power that has always existed inside of you. The power to choose, the power to say no when it no longer serves you, the power to walk away when they expect you to stay, the power to speak your truth without fear of rejection, the power to stand tall in your own skin and own your story, no matter what anyone else thinks. They thought you'd beg. They thought you'd fall to your knees, pleading for their forgiveness, begging them for a reason to stay, for a justification to explain your departure. They thought you would crumble, that the weight of leaving would be too much for you to bear. But here's the thing, they never understood you. They didn't understand that you had already made your peace long before the moment arrived. They didn't know that you were prepared to walk away because deep down, you knew the price of your own happiness was far greater than any comfort they could ever offer. Let them wonder. Let them ask themselves why you didn't beg, why you didn't fall into their trap. Let them search for answers that will never come. Let them twist in the wind, clinging to the illusion that they had power over you. Because, in truth, the moment you stopped begging for justifications, the moment you stopped looking for their approval, you started living for yourself. You started walking your own path, one that wasn't tied to their expectations or their false promises. And now, as you stand tall in your newfound freedom, they will try to pull you back in. They will reach out. They will say all the right things. They will try to make you feel guilty for leaving. They will attempt to make you believe that you can't make it on your own. But the truth is, they will never understand the strength it takes to walk away from something that no longer serves you. They will never know what it feels like to finally embrace the truth that the power was never in their hands, that the key was always yours. The key to your freedom is not in their apologies, not in their explanations, not in their justifications. The key to your freedom is in your ability to stand alone. It's in your ability to walk away when the people around you fail to see your worth. It's in your ability to say, I am enough, without needing anyone else to validate it. It's in your ability to release the need to explain yourself, to stop asking for permission to be who you are. The key to your freedom is in the realization that your happiness, your peace, your life is yours to control. And no one can take that from you unless you allow them to. And that is where your power lies. As you walk away from the toxic people, the manipulative systems, the harmful relationships, you don't walk away in defeat. You walk away in strength. You walk away because you understand that there's no reason to stay in a place that diminishes your light. You walk away because you understand that you deserve to be treated with respect, with kindness, with love. And when those things are not given freely, when you're expected to beg for them, to explain why you deserve them, then it's time to leave. You don't owe anyone that explanation. They will try to make you feel guilty for stepping into your power. They will try to make you feel like you are abandoning them, like you are betraying them. But the truth is, you are not abandoning them. You are abandoning the person they tried to turn you into, the person who needed to beg for their justification, who needed their approval, who needed to constantly prove their worth. And in walking away from that person, you embrace the truth of who you really are, someone who deserves to be treated with the respect and love that comes naturally when you live authentically. You are free, and that freedom is not something they can ever take away, because it is yours, it is inherent, it is part of who you are. It's the realization that you are in control of your own happiness, your own future. No one else has the power to define your worth. No one else can dictate your path. No one else can make you feel small or inferior, because in the end, you know your value, you know your worth. And the moment you realize that, no one else can make you feel anything less. The freedom to walk away, to leave behind the things that no longer serve you, to stop begging for explanations, is the greatest gift you can give yourself. It is the key to living a life on your own terms. And now that you've unlocked that door, you can never go back. You have stepped into your own power. You are free, and nothing, no one, can ever take that away from you.